Okay, hello guys, welcome to another class. Okay, so in this class I'll be taking the basics, or what I like to call the base. Okay, so this base will help solidify some of your knowledge, okay, for other things. Um sorry for that again. Okay, the window just keeps popping up. The class here is base. Okay, so the base is to help you understand some few concepts that you're supposed to understand in order to do well in Kotlin. Okay, so um, I just added something here, another comment. Okay, so this all these things are called comments. I just added them here to be part of the function. It doesn't actually do anything. The compiler will ignore all this. Okay, so I added them here so that I can keep my mind straightforward. Just look at this and know what I'm teaching at the first one. When I'm done with that, I go to the second one. Okay, so this is actually more for me and more for you to know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I hope it does not confuse you or something. Let me just bring it down. Okay, so this is actually the only thing in the code. Okay, if this code runs, if this code runs now, yeah, it actually does nothing. It's just an empty function. Okay, the main function is empty. So I hope that was clear. Let me start here. Okay, it's still running. It took a while to run. It's doing like Android. Please don't do like Android. You actually just the language. It's supposed to be very fast. Okay, so let me just show you guys something. Let me see. I'm not going to type anything actually, but let's say okay, you want to do something like okay, you want to print the name of or the shirt number of a player. Okay, so actually for this course, or for this short course, or a crash course, or whatever you guys see it as, I actually see it as an expo or an introduction or something. It's just an expo so that you just get comfortable with Kotlin. Okay, so for in case you just want to print something, let's say you want to print something like Messi's number. Okay, so you say print. Okay, I'm going to use references to footballers. Okay, you can just say something like print 10. Okay, and when you run this, it actually just prints the number 10 there, just 10. Okay, but let's say okay, you want to do something with this number. Maybe somebody will say we just made a weird game. Okay, I call it weird because I'm not sure somebody will actually make that kind of game. In that game, we add everybody's play number, shirt number. The whole team comes together, and how you win the game is if your team has the highest number. Okay, so let's say teams that have people that wear 20 something or 50 something, all those numbers, all these big numbers, is actually yeah, the winners. Okay, so let's say we want to add Messi's number 9, Messi's number 10, Suarez 9, Griezmann, and so on. So I'm using Barcelona, the Barcelona team. Okay, so for that we can just come here and do 10 9 and all that. But what if we don't want to do it here? We want to put the logic somewhere else. Okay, so we have to have something like containers. Okay, to save values. Okay, those containers are what I'm talking about. This one, the variables and values. Okay, so where you can see this sort of variables in places like math. Okay, if you have done math and you have something like find x is a variable. Okay, x can be anything there. Okay, so that's one of the places you actually see variables. Okay, so it's not something new or something complex. It's just something that holds value for you. So let's say variable. Okay, to actually create a variable, you type var. Okay, so you say Messi. I'm calling this variable Messi, and I'll say Messi is equal to 10. Okay, so this variable holds a number. So instead of saying 10 here, I can just come here and print Messi. Okay, this code will actually just still show me 10 because I'm still printing 10. Okay, so there's nothing special about this code. Okay, so let me show you guys that was for variables. Let me show you guys values. Okay, so and later I'll tell you guys the difference. Okay, so this is values. Okay, and I'll call this one Suarez. Okay, Suarez will now be equal to 9. Okay, so let me double this. So Suarez is equal to 9. Okay, so if you print this, you have 10 and 9 because Messi comes first and Suarez comes next. Sorry. Okay, here this is a very nice mistake. I'm even happy I made this mistake. Okay, so this is not actually print I'm supposed to use. I'm supposed to use print line. Okay, print line prints on the line on this. Okay, if you do print line here, it will print here and it will move the cursor to the next line. Okay, so if you do two print statements, you actually think it will run here and run next under it, but it not work like that. It will run and the cursor will still be there for the next print to happen. Okay, notice when, okay, let me not go down that part. Okay, let me just on a print line prints and then moves the cursor down. Okay, so that the next, where the next print will happen, it's actually happen below. So it was actually 109 before when you saw it, but now it should be 10 and 9. Okay, so that was actually my mistake. I'm actually glad the mistake happened. Okay, so you guys can see okay, you guys can see variable and value here, but what is the difference? Two of them store values. Okay, sorry, two of them hold values. Let me not use store values. Two of them hold data. Okay, you can put anything inside it. You can actually put other data types. Okay, but I'll get to that later. Okay, so let me show you guys the difference. Let me say variable. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's assume a scenario. Maybe someone like Barcelona. Okay, the Barcelona team now goes about and starts trying to get Neymar back. Okay, they say Neymar is going to come back, but Neymar, you know how maybe the guy is, he wants Messi's shirt number. Maybe he says he wants to play 10. Okay, he wants to be the legendary 10 in Barcelona. Okay, if he's going to come back, he's going to wear that shirt. Okay, so Messi has to change, and okay, Messi says okay, he has to change. Maybe he has played his time, he needs to retire. Okay, so Messi will now maybe take Neymar's old shirt, which was 11. I think Griezmann is wearing that shirt now, but I don't actually know too much football to concur to that. Okay, so when I give Messi 11, I print this now. It should print 11 and 9. Okay, so 11 and 9, no more longer 10. Okay, so I changed the value of 10 here. Okay, so you are starting to see that I changed the value of Messi here to 11. But let me try to do this with Suarez. Let me change Suarez now. Okay, let me see. Neymar does not want Messi's number, he just wants Suarez number, and it was a mistake. Okay, you see here it says something, val cannot be reassigned. Okay, so once you do something with a value, this val here, you cannot actually reassign it or you reuse it again. The stuff you created here, okay, let me not call it the variable, because here this is a value and this is a variable. Okay, the name you use to create the stuff, okay, cannot be reused. That's what I'm trying to say. This Suarez here cannot be reused. If you want to reuse it, you have to actually call this a variable. Okay, you have to change it to a variable, or if it's a value, you have to remove this. Okay, so one of them has to happen. So what this actually means in essence is that value is immutable. You hear this word used very often. Okay, so you hear something like immutable. Don't be confused about what immutable means. Immutable means once it's assigned, you can't edit it. Okay, you can't change the values. Okay, mutable just means something you can change easily. Okay, so like Messi now, I've done Messi and I've changed him, changed the value of his shirt easily. Okay, so that's for mutable and immutable. Okay, I'm done with this. Let me just remove this. Okay, and let me remove some of this code and this one too. Okay, so let me show you guys data types. Okay, let me actually come and show you guys that. I don't know why this keeps popping up when I click on this. Okay, so let me show you guys data types. Data types is actually the type of data you are trying to store. Okay, the one we used for Messi and Suarez before was numbers. Okay, so that's an integer. Okay, integer is something like a whole number. Okay, but there are very many levels to number is a little more complex than other stuff you see. Okay, if you are trying to save a number letters or words, okay, you actually use something called string, and there's one for single characters. That one is the character variable. Okay, so there are so many data types that are available. Okay, so you actually know when to use what and what to use. Okay, so let me show you guys an example. Let's say you're trying to save the name of a player, so you say something like var player. Okay, not that player there. Don't do that. Okay, so I'll save the name of the player as Messi. Okay, so this is a string. Let me see, var character. Okay, so character. let me not use capital letter, is equal to maybe this guy has a favorite character or something he likes. Let me call it say it's A. Okay, so he likes Messi likes the letter A. That's his favorite character. Okay, so let me see his number, his favorite number. Okay, let me see val here. Favorite number is equal to 10. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let me see another val. Favorite decimal is equal to 12.2. Okay, val is good. I'll explain this in a while. Okay, so true. Okay, val is good, true. And am I missing any other data type? Okay, strings, boolean. Okay, I think that's it for the major data types. Okay, let me just actually come and explain what's going on here. This is a string. Okay, it's a data type that consists of words. Okay, or if you can add things here, it will be better safe. Messi is a good player, so you can just do whatever you would like here. It's just a string. Okay, it's a series of words. I'm not sure you cannot actually add extra letters here because this is a character, just a single letter. Okay, so this is a character type. Okay, this is an integer. Okay, this is a decimal. So there are many types of decimal that you want to use. Maybe something that is long, or if the decimal you're trying to save is something like maybe you have seen pi before. Okay, you know how pi is very long. That longer number 22/7, those kind of long number, you cannot save it in something short like a double or something. You actually have to find another type of um, data type that is longer, that contains more. Okay, so there's something like short, bytes, short, long, and floats. All those other ones are they also decimal data types, but they take longer values. But this one here is a double. Let me show you guys something cool. So I told you guys that in Kotlin the value is can be inferred. Okay, inferred means that if you don't explicitly write the value, that Kotlin will infer what the value of the variable, the value you are trying to assign. Okay, so Kotlin just looks at this, something like this one I wrote here, and knows that this is a string. Okay, so like if I do this and put string, I'm trying to explicitly say that, okay, Kotlin, look at this, this is a string, this must be a string. Okay, so Kotlin, if I hover over this now, to say explicitly given type is redundant, it's trying to tell me that what I'm doing here is a waste of time, that it does not serve any purpose, that it knows it's a string, that me adding string here is a waste of time. That's what it's just trying to say. So why did I actually do this is that why I did this is that if you actually add the wrong type, okay, let me put an int where a string is supposed to be now. Okay, so you see an error here. It says type mismatch. I'm trying to put a string where an int is supposed to be. Okay, so let me undo that and put string back so that everything is okay. So that means if I add something wrong here, Kotlin will know, okay, that I'm adding something wrong. So this is a char, is of type char. Okay, this char is a character. Okay, so favorite number is of type int. Let me add that here so you can see if it's correct and it works, is of the correct type. I'm adding the correct type there. So if I was adding the wrong type there, it will actually give me an error. Okay, so this boolean type is a special one. Okay, I told you guys about characters. Okay, ints which are whole numbers. Okay, doubles which are decimal. Okay, but boolean is another one. Boolean is just true or false. It stores values of true and or false. Okay, boolean value can either be true or false. Okay, so false here means it's not true. Okay, so true here is I just added this value is good. Is good is something that says maybe the player I'm trying to create is good or is bad. Okay, so that is something you can get your head around. Okay, I went to the Kotlin documentation to show you guys some things. Okay, so I just clicked something. Why did I click something? Okay, so let me I think it's still on the same page. Is it? Okay, my network just went off. Why did my network go off? Okay, let me do that again. Okay, I'm in the Kotlin documentation page. Okay, I'm trying to show you guys some primitive types. Okay, so these are the integer types. Okay, you can see the integers. Okay, int type. These are full numbers. Whole numbers I told you guys about. So look at long. Okay, you can see something like long. Maybe you need something that has this kind of length. Okay, it works with 64 bit. Okay, so it saves a higher number of values. Int work with 32 bits. It was int that I used by default. Okay, when I created them. Okay, there's short and there's bytes. Okay, byte is for 8 bits. Okay, so you know which one to use when you do whatever you do. So these types are like they are very different in terms of the way they are in Kotlin. Okay, so let me show you guys scroll through and show you guys some other examples of primitive of data types that we have. Okay, so there's another one here, floating points. Okay, so sorry about that. Let me show you guys the floating points, other types of floating point data types. Okay, so the floating point data types are like what I showed you guys. Okay, um, this double here is 64 bits. Okay, it says the same as Python. So I think when Kotlin they were doing their own, they were trying to like imitate Python in a way or something. Okay, most of the things in Kotlin, actually, I told you guys Kotlin looked at some languages and they took the best things out of those languages. Like maybe when I talk about things like default parameters, that one I'm sure is from Kotlin. Okay, some other things again, maybe extension functions from C# and other languages. Okay, so Kotlin looked at other languages and saw the best things in them and took them. So Kotlin is actually a very better language. Okay, so this is boolean. Okay, this is character. Okay, what I told you guys, Unicode characters. Okay, so you should actually go here to read more about the type. Okay, short, long, there are so many of them. I cannot go through all of them once. Okay, so the other one self that I've not even started touching, big decimal and other. Okay, I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys. Okay, I'm just trying to show you guys that when you save values or when you write your stuff, okay, that's they actually data types that they are good, they go with. So when you type a value there, it's of one data type. Okay, so it's not something that you should uh, be overwhelmed over. Just know that. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, that is it. I don't know why that thing keeps popping up. That is it for data types. Okay, I hope you guys understood that, and that fun trip to the documentation was not wasted. Okay, so let me remove that. Okay, let me show you guys functions. Okay, functions are very important in Kotlin. Okay, they're actually very neat and a good way to do some bit of tax in one side. Okay, so let me tell you guys the best place you can actually use functions for. Okay, so functions, let's say we have, let me create a function here. Okay, um let me not here, let me create a function here. Okay, let me say fun. Okay, and let me call this add. Okay, let me show you guys the power of functions. Okay, um okay, this function, and in this function I'll take two parameters and I'll add the two parameters. Okay, sorry, what you add here is parameters. Okay, let me get this terminology straight so that when you see it somewhere you'll not be confused. What you add here for your functions, the signatures you add for your functions are parameters, but when you call your functions and then you pass the actual values you pass in arguments. I hope that was not confusing. Parameters are your function, what you specify for your function. Once someone or you yourself call your functions and pass values, you pass the arguments. That's just terminology. Okay, let's say I take first number, int, and then second number, of type int. Okay, so and then I print line. Okay, first. Okay, so this is a very simple function. Okay, what I'm just trying to do is take, if someone calls this function add, okay, the person passes first number, passes second number, okay, I'll print the value of the first and second number. So let me come here and call add, okay, and then I'll just call, maybe let me add it so that it will get to the number of Messi or something. Let me add 6 and 4. Okay, first number, it just helps me here. The IDE is what actually does this, helps me and shows me what I'm actually passing. The argument shows me this argument that I put here, what the parameter is actually matching. Okay, so let me do that and run. Okay, 6 and 4 should add and it should give me 10. Okay, so that was a simple function. Okay, okay, so let me show you guys something that I have not showed you guys before. Okay, let me do this. Let me do it. Okay, you may be wondering now, what is unit? Okay, so Kotlin is telling me redundant unit return type. Okay, it's telling me that what I just added here, like the other ones I've been adding, what you added here is not useful. I already know that this is unit, but what does unit mean? Okay, so unit functions actually have the ability to have a return type, what people call a return type. Okay, that return type is what you specify that function will return when it's called. Like when I just call this function here, it actually returns nothing, because what it just does is print here. It does not return any value. Okay, so you can make functions return value, and unit is like the equivalent of void. In Java, you have something like, when you saw that first main function in Java, or if you have written any the hello world application in Java, okay, you see something like public static void main. What void means there is that, okay, this function main, or sorry, this method main, okay, does not actually return anything. It's not, does not have a return type. That's what I'm trying to say with that void. So unit is like the Kotlin equivalent for void in Kotlin. Okay, the Java equivalent of void in Kotlin is unit. Unit means it's a return type that does not, is a type that does not return anything. Okay, once you put unit, it does not bug you for returning value. So let me show you guys another how to use return types. Okay, let me add int here. So if I add this return type, you see that my code actually now generates an error. Okay, it says it does not actually say anything here until I go here and show it. Okay, a return expression is required for function with a block body. Okay, so let me show you guys this. I'm actually, instead of me doing print here, let me return. Okay, okay, so what my code does now is function. Okay, if I add the first number, add the second number, it returns the addition of first number and second number as an integer. Okay, so that's what int here means. Int means the return type of the function. So when I call the function here, okay, what actually is here is an integer. So it does not actually print anything, it's just an integer here. So let me just show you guys why that is an integer. Okay, print line. So if you just do print line on that function, okay, on that function here, add here, created here, that means this inside here is an integer. Okay, so let me do the print line here. Okay, and then run the application. You see that it should actually print 10. Okay, so that print is no longer here. What this here does is just return something. Okay, so I actually skipped to do functions first. Okay, so so do units first. So let me remove these both. I've talked on functions and units and other return types. Okay, so let me move this part. Okay, so that's it. Let me show you guys what classes are. Let me just move forward because my battery is about to die and I don't know when I should have battery again. So let me move forward and finish this. Okay, so let me do classes. Okay, let's say you have class. Okay, sorry, let me just start creating class. Let me show you what are classes. Okay, classes are like blueprints. Okay, I used to call them blueprints. Classes are blueprints that help you in creating objects. Okay, maybe you're not wondering what is object. I'll actually do a class in the next one on object-oriented concepts that you should know. Okay, I'll talk more on classes, interfaces, polymorphism, and some other object-oriented concepts. Okay, but for now, just know that classes are objects that are blueprints for objects. You use classes to create objects. Okay, so let me not do Ctrl Z a little and bring out this. Okay, let me show you guys something. This int here is a class. Okay, when you do this, you're actually using the int object. Okay, and there's a class already defined by Kotlin for us. Okay, you can see the class here. I just don't worry about the other stuff here. I will show you guys this part later, but just see here, public class int. Okay, so this int is a class. Okay, so this is where the blueprint or how to create the int object was defined for us. Okay, so we have to you can create our own classes for ourselves when we need it. Classes maybe is for when you want to do some things and by default you cannot do it for you. You have to create your own classes. Okay, let me say class. Okay, so why does this thing keep popping up? Okay, class person. Okay, class I'm not going to use person. I was thinking of something to create before. Let's say I'm creating a class for a player. Okay, I want to use these blueprints to create everything that a player must have. Okay, but I'll just add a few things so that it will not be too bulky, so that you guys will not get lost. So let me create a class that has value, and the value is the number, shirt number. Okay, trying to create a class that defines a person. Okay, so int, I know the value must be an integer, and then value. Okay, and this should be, maybe let's just say a player has a favorite, sorry, a name. Let me give it a name. Let me not do that. Okay, and this should be a string. Okay, so this is very descriptive on its own. Okay, classes usually have the body. Okay, you can write some other things that classes should have. Maybe the classes should need its own functions. There are functions inside the class. Okay, so you can call them from the place. Okay, so let me do this here. Let me now show you guys how you create objects from classes. Okay, let me say you want to create Messi. Okay, you are now using, this is how you do object-oriented programming. You use objects to model the problem you have or something. So let me show you guys. Okay, person, sorry, player, and then you pass maybe his shirt number 10, and then his name, Messi. Okay, this is not a string, that is why it was rejected. Okay, Messi. Okay, so you can see it knows what data types I was trying to use. I just typed Messi there directly and it does not work. Strings have to be in double quotes. Okay, so note that. Okay, so let me go to this part now. This part is the part that says no new keyword, and you may be wondering what that means. Okay, I just added this part here to show you guys that when you create your classes or you create objects from your classes, okay, that there are no new keywords needed. In Java, you have to write something like this: new player 10 Messi, and then you know that you created a new object. Okay, but here you don't actually do that. You just write player and then pass whatever, and then so that removes like 3 words for you in your code, and that should be better for you actually. Okay, so that's what I was trying to show you guys with that no new keyword. When you do classes and that, you don't actually add the new. Okay, so let me go back to classes. Okay, so this class is very cool. You can do some things with it. Okay, you can do something like print. Okay, they say something like Messi dot name, and this prints Messi's name. Okay, so that's classes for you. They are the base or the blueprints that you use to create your object. Okay, so it prints Messi here. Okay, if you want to print shirt number, you print shirt number. Okay, and just it's easy to do. It's something you just easily do. Okay, so let me go to interfaces very quickly. Okay, to summarize again, classes help you build objects. Okay, they are the blueprints for building objects. So you just created a player class here that shows that, okay, to create a player I just need the shirt number and the name. So maybe in real world it's not actually how it works. Okay, but for here in our code, this is actually how you create a player. Okay, and you can see that Messi here is a player. You can add this. Okay, I was not supposed to do this first, but you can check the type. Okay, this is type. Okay, Messi is of type player, and I just created that. Okay, let me go to interfaces. Okay, so let me show you guys something. Let me this interface, footballer, because I've done player. Okay, so let me add this interface. Interfaces do not have that. Okay, let me add this interface footballer, and then in footballer I'll add two functions. Okay, fun. Okay, dribble. Hope that was not fun. Score. Okay, so I just created an interface right now, and the interface has two functions. Okay, first function is to score, and the second function is to dribble. Okay, I hope that was very clear and very simple. Okay, so let me remove the classes here and know that I'm done with that. Okay, and interfaces here is the last part. Okay, so interfaces are like a way for you to define things that something should have. Okay, interfaces don't actually have bodies. Okay, except on some occasions where you want to define a default interface, but that's for complex scenarios where you guys should go and actually read. Okay, so I showed you guys the last part, the documentation and all that. I'm not going to show you guys that for interface. Okay, interfaces are very simple. You can just go there and read it yourself, or use a fun resource like I shared with you guys. Okay, like the Kotlin Academy, and then they will teach you all those things step by step, and then hold your hands while they are teaching you. I actually like that resource. Okay, you actually learn by doing, and you are building projects on the way. Okay, so that's it for interfaces. Okay, they're just simple. It's okay, just think of it like an empty container. Okay, interfaces are like empty containers. They just define what something should do. Okay, they just define. Okay, in your classes you have functions that do some things. Okay, and then your classes are the model for the objects, but interfaces just are just they just define what that thing should do. Okay, so you are now wondering, how do you use interfaces? Okay, let me show you how you use interfaces. You actually do this. You actually um, use a colon. Okay, how you specify your return type in or the stuff, or the type of in variables. When you use variables, I actually use this something here in variables to show you guys that I was actually referencing or doing the right thing. Okay, so for that you actually use it here. Okay, I'll show you guys extending classes in the next section. Okay, but interfaces, actually you don't extend interfaces, you implement interfaces. In Java we had a way of writing it. If you want to do classes, you write extend the class. Okay, but in Kotlin you don't write extend, you just put semicolon and then add whatever you want to add. You add your classes here, you add your interfaces here, so both of them are actually, maybe you can actually add interfaces first, then later classes and class. But what I'm trying to say you guys is that finally, okay, in the end the mentality behind it is that you extend classes. Okay, and you implement interfaces. Okay, so let me implement this footballer interface. Okay, so when I implement this footballer interface, it's actually telling me something. Okay, it's telling me that this class is not abstract. And okay, let me not go to abstract. It's telling me that I should implement these functions that this interface that I'm trying to implement has. I should actually implement this interface. So let me click here and then click Alt Enter, and it says implement members. I will click on implement members and choose the two of them. Okay, let me implement the two methods. Okay, so everything is now green. And okay, what this actually means is that everything is fine, and now I've implemented these two members. Now I have satisfied all the rules for implementing an interface. So you can see that interfaces, I just created a container and just said I want this is what a footballer should do. This is an interface for a footballer, and then I come to this class. The guy is a player is a footballer. I want him to do this and that. So when I implement this, I do this, and now I can do my own implementation. Okay, I can do my own specific implementation for a player. Maybe a player, if he wants to dribble, he will use his leg and roll over it. Okay, if he wants to score, he will shoot with his leg. Okay, maybe for basketballers it's different, but for footballers it will be something else. Okay, so let me the example I gave was not actually very intuitive. Okay, so maybe maybe I should have put something like here. I'll put something like a a sportsman or something. Okay, sportsman will have dribble and score and whatever. Okay, then here that's a player or a footballer. I will now come and define how it's actually done for normal footballers. That's the actual way I should have done it, but I guess I did not think about it very well. Okay, so just uh, just know that implement classes uh, give specific implementation to interfaces. Okay, if I define these functions here, I'll come here and give the specific implementations. Okay, and this is the basics for generic sorry interface callbacks, which you guys actually need to know to do some things like uh, recycler view clicking and some other stuff. Okay, and some it's very powerful. You actually know have to know the power of interfaces to actually get good at programming. Okay, so that was it for interfaces and all that. I hope that was clear. I know I tried my best to give simple examples with football and some other things. I don't know what interests you guys, but if you want me to do particular things based on your interest, I would like to do them. I just guess maybe most of you know football, and I just try to use football to explain it so that you guys will know um, what I was trying to say. Okay, so the next class will be on OOP and object-oriented concepts. I hope this one was clear, and I hope you have questions and some other things. You can ask me in the Slack or other places. Okay, so thank you guys.